Megan Fox has the story.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox. Megan Fox, a national journalist.
Mastodon. I will never be able to say that.
It feels like the Flintstones live there.
It does.
Well, don't trust women. I think you just touched on that with your last. That's what they brought. We're going to have to bring back chaperones.
Jesus, no.
Just careful. Stop! Break! Ooh. Hard right.
How did you screw up a stove, Megan? You're a woman. I thought that was baked into you. Like at the genetic level, how to operate kitchen equipment.
And honestly, Megan, if you don't like it, I'm sorry. I've been very nice to you.
You get Dino hanging out outside chewing on a large bone. I highly recommend being targeted by the New York Times and Rolling Stone for weight loss. And I'd say, keep it coming. I need to lose 20 more. Please, keep it coming.
Explain to me, Megan, why did this country not have a holiday once a year? That's the time you vote. If you don't show up and vote, up your ass. You don't get another chance. You don't get, I don't care if you're in the hospital. Crawl to the stake, crawl there. But that's it. 1 day, 12 hours, and then you're done. And you count them that day, and that night you know who the hell won.
I will eat you alive. You want to tangle? You want to go?
The only thing going through my head is, what are you going to do when Megan Fox runs wild on you, brother?
He made a deal with the devil. She's the devil.
He wants that.
Oh, God. Gross! Oh! All right. Penalty box for Slug. Yep.
Of a mile.
Are you ready to behave yourself now, Slug?
This frustrating rep.
Are you ready to behave yourself? Repossessed puppies. I'm hiding pork chop. ASAP. Have you seen his little pork chop? Oh my God, pork chop is the cutest.
That sounds bad.
Have you seen it?
Pork. It's pork.
Though you may be tempted, do not contact any person or persons mentioned on this stream. Do not even think about contacting anyone who may be the topic of the daily news. If you should do that, the host will question your IQ, possibly call you names, and mock you for disobeying these basic rules of decency.
All the best.
All the best. Welcome back to the show. Oh my goodness, Tug is dressed up. Oh,
I know.
It's formal, Tug. What's happening?
I know. Hey, you're going to have a formal topic and a formal guest. I'll put on the formal avatar.
Wow. I've never seen you so dressed up, Lauren.
Oh, well, I know. Really, an upgrade from Pickle Tub like last night.
You don't dress up like this for me, but Lauren Neighdie comes on and, you're in a full-on suit.
Heck yeah, I've got to treat the guest properly, man.
Well, we've got Lauren Neighdie here from the Court of Random Opinion. Lauren, welcome to the stream. Sorry, I can't spell your name. You're going to have to change it.
It's all good. Apparently, you don't know what I look like either. I saw your thumbnail, so that was interesting.
That's AI. That's AI. It's not my fault.
You have a talk with the machine.
You should see what it did. It put our faces together, me and you. You want to talk about something terrifying? Look at this. Look what it did before it did that. It tried to blend me and you together in one picture. Look at this. This is so bad. Look at it's so bad. It also refused to change my it actually spelled your name right there.
Yeah, it did. You should have kept that one. Whatever you did to my face is I look like a fucked up version of my brother. It's pretty bad.
I didn't do it. Look at all these terrible thumbnails. I didn't do
that
it.
one was better than the one you currently have. I don't care. I'm just saying.
What's the one I currently have up? I don't even know. Look how bad. Tug, I told it to make you, and this is what it did. Who is this guy?
No, he looks like my brother too.
What is happening?
I don't know.
That is so weird.
I don't know, but AI is not my friend today. I had a lot of problems with it, and I didn't have time to sit down at Canva and do it myself. So I apologize for what spat out of the machine.
I honestly don't care. My thumbnails are so lazy. Also, you might be able to see that I have kind of a red eye still. I was reading Gingras Law blog earlier, and so I got some shit in it. So it's a little, off.
Those of you who do not know Lauren, who needs to change her last name immediately, because I can't spell it even though I tried 30 times. Can't you just change it to like Lauren Knight, Night? That would be so much easier.
I thought about it. I've thought about changing it, but that would require me to leave the house, so I'm not going to do that.
Just for YouTube purposes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had to spell your name now like 30 times in a row on AI. So I think that maybe I have it right now. I think maybe I can do it. We'll see. But those of you who don't know Lauren has been she's been a staple in the commentary sphere for a while now, covering Laura Owens and some of the you did cover a little bit of the Hale stuff.
I tried for a minute, and then that one hearing, you were going to send me out to a hearing to cover with the camera and everything, and then they canceled that ultimately. So that was
April 4th.
Yeah, you were like, "There's a message in that." Okay.
Yeah.
It got a little overwhelming immediately, so I was like, I don't understand what's happening here.
Yeah, with Bruce calling you all the time and trying to.
To be fair, he only called me one time. He emailed back and forth, but he only called me one time, so I'll get it.
But the Laura Owens thing is really something, because I feel like you and I have bonded over that story, because we've both been under attack by this idiot lawyer named David Gingras, who continues to call us terrible people. So Lauren and I are both terrible people, apparently.
Let's just kind of speed run to see which one of us he has to pay with a slap suit first, I think, is the problem.
But then you got a lot of followers you branched off and you started talking about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni and that whole Me Too lawsuit. And we fell completely behind because Tug and I were so involved with the Hales and also keeping up with Laura Owens that we wanted to know what was going on, but we were like, it's too much. We can't deal.
Yeah, you can't do both. Trust me, I was trying to dip my toe in both, and I was like, I cannot do this. So it's like not possible.
Well, you did a really good job. I started keeping up with your coverage. Like I think I watched like some of the first coverage that you were doing, and I was like, oh, this is really interesting. But then it all got so intense so quickly, it seemed, including, weren't you written up in the Daily Mail for something that happened during this?
Which time?
When she subpoenaed you or something? Because Blake Lively ended up subpoenaing you.
Yeah.
For, like your phone records or something.
It's been almost a year now. It's been almost a year. It wasn't my phone records, though. That would have made more sense, to be honest. She tried to get my bank account information, my credit card numbers, my location data for long before I ever talked about her lawsuit when I was like in Australia. It was just bizarre. Yeah.
That is bizarre. All right. So if we were to say, explain this to us like we've never heard of these people and we don't know what happened, where would we start?
Well, I think that most people would have first found out about this through the New York Times, not the lawsuit itself, which the New York Times article actually happened like right before she dropped the lawsuits. So all these problems happened on the set of It Ends With Us. And then they had the premiere in August 2023, I think. Was it August 2023 or August 2024? I could be getting it wrong. It was in August.
Oh, God. I tried to watch that movie, by the way.
I watched it twice. Yeah, it was bad.
It is so bad that I couldn't get through it. And I normally can watch bad movies because I will just laugh at them. But no, this one was so bad. I think I got to the part where they're on the roof. Which is like right in the beginning.
That's like
right?
the second scene or something.
You made it to do scene.
Like 15 minutes in tops. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
It seems so bad to me. Like the acting was so bad. The writing is really bad. It seemed like something that should be on the Hallmark Channel and not big screen.
Well, the book that it's based off of is honestly kind of childish now that I think about it. Because like some of the scenes, you look at the scenes like the rooftop scene, the dialogue, and then in the flower shop, you probably didn't get that far when she was setting up her flower shop and her name is Lily Blossom Bloom.
Right. Right. That's the other thing.
I'm like, this is like childish. Stupid
She owns
stuff.
a flower shop and her name is Lily Blossom something. Yeah, ridiculous.
So the movie didn't
Ridiculous.
make. I don't think the movie made worse what the source material was, if that makes sense. But the thing that made it worse for me and like hard to watch for me was I already knew about all of this stuff before I watched the movie. So I watched it once myself because I want to know when I'm talking about something like this. I want to know what I'm talking about. I don't want to guess. I want to know. So I've thought about reading the book even, but I couldn't bring myself to do it after I read one passage. And the second time I watched it with somebody who really wanted to watch it, I was like, fine, I'll watch it. And I was just like, this is unbearable.
It was unbearable. I had to quit. I was like, I'm not doing this for any other reason than I'm just upsetting myself. So I need to stop. But so basically, Blake Lively claims that she was treated inappropriately by her co-star Justin Baldoni, right?
Yeah, so he was the director and the co-star. She came onto the project as like the female lead, and she was kind of the big star name draw to the movie they thought she was going to be. And she claims that he sexually harassed her and that she was like powerless as an employee to this horrible, gross director. It made it sound like he did all kinds of horrible things and he was like terrible to all the women on set, and that they were doing creepy things like peeping on her in her trailer when she was breastfeeding and like barging in while she was naked, and just all kinds of stuff that it turns out to not really be true in context. So she put all that in the New York Times article, and they had, I think what a lot of people who just follow this stuff tangentially and the TMZ headlines and stuff don't know is that they had, through Taylor Swift, a friend of Taylor Swift, gotten Blake Lively all of the text messages from Justin's publicist, Justin, and anyone who would talk to Justin's publicist off of her phone behind the scenes in an improper way, received all of these text messages. Stephanie Jones, the ex-publicist for Justin Baldoni, was mad at him. So she goes to a friend of Taylor Swift, goes, hey, hit Taylor up, tell her this. Taylor Swift goes to Blake Lively, and we have these text messages now, so we know this is what happened. Taylor Swift goes to Blake Lively and says, hey, we got somebody who wants to kind of spill the beans to you. And so Stephanie Jones turns over all of these communications about Blake Lively where they're basically like strategizing about what to do if she complains about them and whatever the publicists are talking about doing behind the scenes to kind of like work their magic, because that's what PR people do when there's a crisis. And they get all that to Blake Lively, and she starts going through it. And Blake Lively, who actually didn't give a shit at all when she got what she wanted, and after the premiere was over and everything, about the alleged sexual harassment, was suddenly enraged that people were talking shit about her and saw an opportunity. And so she gives these text messages to the New York Times and says, this is what happened. We need to like kind of blow this up or whatever, because she was mad that her reputation was taking a hit because people were seeing all this stuff about her in the press, like her old behavior resurfacing and all this stuff. And she wanted to blame it on someone else. The New York Times can't run with this unless it's part of a legal process, because they won't have any protection otherwise. So Blake Lively files a CRD complaint. Then she files the lawsuit right after that. And in order to allow the Van Zandt text, or sorry, not the Van Zandt text, the Stephanie Jones text to be used in that lawsuit and in the New York Times article, she uses her shell company Van Zandt to send a subpoena to Stephanie Jones after she's already received the text messages to say, we need these text messages from this phone that you have, which belong.
Weren't they already in the New York Times?
Well, they had the text already, but the Van Zandt lawsuit was used to make it appear as if they legally obtained those text messages.
Oh, that's something.
Right. So this company, Van Zandt, sent a subpoena to Stephanie Jones based on a lawsuit for like breach of contract against John Doe's 1 through 10 or whatever. And you can't breach a contract if you don't know who your contract is with. You have a contract with random unknown persons. So they basically used a fake lawsuit to get all these text messages and to like pick them out of context and to make it look like this huge weird conspiracy was going on behind the scenes and that Blake was being smeared and that she was this Me Too victim, and just trying to make her the face of the new like Me Too wave or whatever, which, you know, backfired tremendously, obviously, once that all started to get addressed in the press. But that's how it all started.
That's unbelievable. So where is it now? I thought that, see, I didn't think that this was going to trial because I thought that most of the claims were dismissed, that Justin's countersuit and all of,
Yeah.
So his countersuit got dismissed. What still remains?
Her entire lawsuit is still up in the air right now. There was a motion for summary judgment that hasn't been ruled on yet. We're expecting that any day now. They have like a conference on Thursday where they're supposed to discuss like the pretrial stuff that's going on, because she's trying to call like 40 trial witnesses and she dumped like 1,000 exhibits on them or something. And so they're like, we need to narrow this down. We don't have the ruling on the summary judgment stuff yet. We're expecting that this might not all go to trial. Some of her claims might be thrown out. So we're really just waiting to see what he decides on that. Bruce says,
aka the cat lady. Don't forget Van Sham. It's disgusting. Yeah, Vance and subpoena laundering. Yeah, that's a new one, Bruce. Man, I just what do you think about Baldoni's countersuit being dismissed, though? I remember thinking at the time, well, good, he's countersuing at least, because some of this narrative that she put out there was demonstrably false. Like, for instance, she claimed in her suit, I believe, that he had said these things during a certain scene that was being filmed. Then we saw footage from that scene where you can hear both of them talking,
right?
And it wasn't what she said at all. So why did his claims get dismissed?
Yeah, some of it doesn't make sense to me, and I'll go with that. They've hinted at the fact that they might appeal, or they're going to appeal, but the clock on that doesn't start until he rules on the issue of fees, which I don't expect him to do until after all of this is over. But a lot of it was because she did what she did by going to get the CRD complaint before the New York Times article came out, and so then it was shielded by litigation privilege. So you can't sue someone for what they say in a lawsuit, basically. So the New York Times was technically reporting on a lawsuit, even though they were reporting on this for like as far back as October, months before the lawsuit was filed. Technically, they were reporting on a lawsuit. So they got away with it by kind of cloaking themselves in this privilege that's meant to protect people, but they used it to their advantage strategically, which is both smart and diabolical. So,
yeah. Wow. Tug, you were talking, you and I have been kind of talking about this case back and forth. What was it that interested you about it, Tug?
Well, it seemed like an attempt at a resurgence for Me Tooing. We saw Me Too. I won't say Me Too ever died out. A lot of people like to say that, but no. But this seemed like I'm not going to say necessarily Blake Lively, but it seemed like the media's attempt at resurgence. And there's also the other element, Ryan Reynolds. I thought that was interesting because, you watched in real time Blake Lively, her statements and these things that were coming out about her chip away at this image that he had built up. And he went from, oh, well, he seems like a fun, goofy, but, asinine guy on movies to, well, maybe he's actually an asinine guy in real life.
Yeah, wasn't there something that came up with his character that he was using to his character in the Marvel movies, the Deadpool character? Wasn't there something that came up in this with Deadpool?
Oh, they made a character in the Deadpool and Wolverine movie based on Justin. Yes.
Yeah.
They called him Nice Pool. It was a guy with long hair and a man bun, and they he made like snide comments about like I have a podcast that monetizes the women's movement and shit like that. Like it was just silly, like stupid stuff. Like you could obviously tell in retrospect that it was a mockery of him. But like when I watched Deadpool and Wolverine, I wasn't even thinking about this guy, obviously. You know what I mean? So you would have never known unless this lawsuit had been filed. So had this not come out, nobody would have ever thought twice about that. So
yeah, so if you guys have seen Deadpool or all the iterations of it, that would be this guy. Which in the movies was quite funny, but in retrospect, it's like, oh my God, he really did. Like he really did make fun of Justin Baldoni in these movies. And that, I mean, that's a little far. Like it's funny and yet kind of underhanded and gross. In a way.
Let me see if I can find, because I had one that was like under 1 minute, everything that was in that. Give me one sec.
Yeah, that. Let me look at the chat for a second. Don't forget Nice Pool's man bun. Yeah, you can see it's pulled back here.
Oh yeah.
But like making fun of a guy for being like all, into, the women's movement, or wasn't he like trying to help her with her? I heard those recordings of him, and he seemed so like kind. I don't really understand what her problem was.
He's very in touch with like other people's feelings and like always trying to kind of people please, you can tell. And he was very much placating her a lot of the time, where she was like being very entitled and over the top and like, why don't you want me to write this scene, basically, when that's not what she was hired to do. It was like all kind of crazy stuff like that.
Well, yeah, that was another thing too. It was like, it seemed like she wanted to be a part of the production, producing and directing more than she wanted to be acting, and got her nose out of joint because she wasn't allowed to do that. Wasn't there a story too that she made them during one of the premieres? She made Justin and his family sit in the basement.
Oh yeah, she made all of them. He was the director, his wife, the other head of the studio who funded a lot of this stuff. Jamie, the producer, the main producer, they all had to watch the premiere in a basement, or she would not go. And after all this discovery came out, you see where even the Sony execs are like calling her a terrorist and saying behind the scenes, like, now she doesn't even want Justin to like go to the premiere. She won't do this or that. And like, they're saying that she's a terrorist. She brought the stuff on herself. And it's like, people just like refuse to see this in the beginning. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. But like, when have you ever heard of a director being forced to watch the premiere of his movie in a basement? Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, never. Literally never. Look at her PR team is in overdrive, though, because one day ago, this is the article that's showing up for Blake. Blake Lively shares very rare photo of one of her kids riding on husband Ryan Reynolds' shoulders. Yeah. Seriously, people, this is what we're putting.
To be honest, that's not the kind of thing I look at a lot. And I know there are like snark subs and like all kinds of people who like watch for her PR and what they're doing and talk about this stuff. But the thing is, like, she came after me, and I'm like, I don't give a shit about what you do with your husband and kids. You know what I mean? Just stop trying to co-opt a social movement that's meant to protect people to like serve your own agenda. You're not.
This is the photo, by the way.
Yeah.
This is the photo, the blurry potato
I haven't even
photo.
seen this. Yeah.
Well, it just came out yesterday. Apparently, we're supposed to.
That's the photo. Yeah, I see it all over. I did a search for her name, and that is, it's splashed everywhere.
Honestly,
I mean, you're right about
this stuff with Blake is like kind of the same way I feel about Laura, to where I'm like, I won't comment on this kind of thing. Like when Laura writes a Medium article about puppies or like saving puppies or dogs or whatever, I'm like, I don't care. Go live your life and do that. Just leave the rest of us alone. Like I don't give a shit about this. If you hear me talking about something that Blake did, it's because it's repulsive and it's affecting other people. And I think that, she has so many stans who are just like, yes, queen, protect the women's movement or whatever. I'm like, no, honey, no, that's not what's happening here. And then that they're so disingenuous because they'll call me Rosie O'Donnell and like hate me for saying this special princess, blonde rich lady is like not doing the right thing.
Does she have fans who are like Amber Heard stans?
Oh,
like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Those people are the worst.
It's so interesting. Like, the one thing that happened was when she subpoenaed me was I had to grow up so fast. And I knew that was going to happen the second her lawyers are a whole different story because the way they handled that was so unethically. But the second her lawyers confirmed the subpoena, the first thing was that I thought was like, I'm going to have to grow up so fast. I'm going to have to grow thicker skin so fast because I'm about to get like criticism and kind of attention that I don't want, like I never have before. And that was the goal of her sending a subpoena my way, was to try to make me look bad and panic.
What did you think she was going to get, Lauren? What was she digging for? What was it that she wanted out of that?
Well, what she was asking for gave the appearance that I was being paid to talk shit about her, basically, by Baldoni's team, which is interesting because I started this case sort of on her side. And I remember my first stream I ever did talking about this was on her lawsuit. I read her side of the story first, and I said, I understand a lot of people are probably going to be annoyed with this, but please hear me out. Like, I don't think it's okay to like bash someone for stuff they did 15 years ago. If they've changed and they've done work to be a different person, turns out she got worse, not better. So like, it's different now. But like, I was very much on her side, very cautious, very much like, I don't want to go after her, like say bad things about her, that kind of thing. And that's like very well documented on the internet. So that's kind of what I wrote to the judge when I was talking about some of this stuff. I was like, this is ridiculous. This is very clearly in bad faith. This is very clearly to intimidate and harass people who are talking bad about her online. Some of the people she subpoenaed had 1 subscriber. It was ridiculous. She subpoenaed 107 social media users.
That's crazy to me that she was allowed to get away with that. Were any of them forced to turn over information that you know of?
No, because nobody had anything. people just don't like her, and she's so entitled and used to not hearing no that she couldn't take that for an answer. Like nobody had anything to give her, really. So, and her lawyers withdrew immediately.
Again, we are constantly being accused of being paid to give our opinions on things, which is bizarre. And maybe it's because the mainstream media is such a whore that, you know, people are used to mainstream media being paid to give a narrative. But independent journalists, YouTubers, we're just out here telling you what we think. Nobody's paying us to do so. Well, except Jeremy Hales, you know, who gives us like $12,000 a month or something.
Man, I wished.
I know. Wouldn't that be great?
I have heard that, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's a big rumor.
There's a couple things going on there. Number one, it's like intellectually lazy and easy to assume that people who have different opinions of you, strong opinions and frequent opinions, are paid to do so. And it's like, it's easier to be like, you're paid. You're just like a gross shill or whatever. And then second, the internet is like so dependent on extremism these days that you get a lot of like toxic stan culture, to where it's very easy to like fall into a pattern to where you're accusing people of things that they didn't do based on like, you must be the bad person. You know what I mean? Like if you're not with me, you're on the bad side. So I'm allowed to say every bad thing imaginable about you and it must be true, you know? So.
Yeah, the chat's bringing up that Popcorn Planet is still fighting it.
Yeah, Andy hasn't had to turn anything over, so he hasn't actually had to do anything yet because of the appeal, but he is still unfortunately dealing with that. Hopefully, if the judge rules on this and throws out some of those claims, then he won't even have to deal with it anymore, but I don't know how that works. So,
do you think that did the subpoena itself and the legal war that you went through, you won your motion to quash?
They withdrew immediately and like lied about it.
They withdrew after you filed your motion to quash?
Yeah, so I wrote to the judge and basically said, like, this is baseless. This is an openly harassing like freedom of speech. The only thing I've done is basically criticize Ms. Lively, and her lawyers filed this motion saying, well, Justin Baldoni's publicists have this attorney's eyes only list of people that they spoke to, implying that they spoke to all the content creators who were talking about Blake. And so they've seen this list of people. They know I'm not on it, but the public doesn't. So they put out into the public basically this accusation that I was on this list. And the Wayfarer side, and 106 other people, mind you, but the Wayfarer side called their bluff and said, you know what, fine, remove the attorney's eyes only provision. One person was on that list. One person. So they like pretended that I was on some list, accused us basically of conspiring with the Wayfarer parties. And then when I, filed a quash, they withdrew immediately because I asked for sanctions. And if they withdrew, then they were shielded from sanctions. So they basically did as much as they could to cause as much emotional distress to people as possible, and disrupt their lives as much as possible, draw negative attention to them as much as possible, and then withdraw at the last possible second to avoid penalties, which is not something that should be able to happen. I think that third parties, non-parties who are dragged into stuff like this, and some of us had to spend, not me because I decided I have nothing to lose, I'm going to do it myself basically, but some of us had to spend thousands of dollars on a lawyer to fight that.
Yeah.
Because nobody's comfortable with having their privacy violated, even if they haven't done anything wrong. But there should be greater protections for non-parties. If somebody does something like this and it's like so egregious and like the lawyers have lied about stuff like that on the docket and it's clearly in bad faith, you should be able to get penalties or at least an admonishment of some kind against the person who filed those subpoenas. So
it looks to me like the media has not done a follow-up since this article, or page 6. YouTuber accuses Blake Lively of intimidation and harassment, requests for protective order amid Justin Baldoni legal battle.
Does that mean oh, there it is. Yeah.
Did they
like she made sure
name right at least?
Yeah, that's true. They did better than your thumbnail, but like that they did this like whole job on me. Basically, we're like, I was the top story on like page 6 for a day, and I'm like, I'm some random fucking lady in my attic. I'm just trying to do my day job, like, and then I see all of a sudden I'm all over all these social media pages, page 6, all the bigger ones, Yahoo Entertainment, whatever, and I'm just like, I did not ask for this. I did not want this. But all of a sudden I have comment sections everywhere who's like, you look like Rosie O'Donnell. She's built like a linebacker. And I'm like, yeah, okay, you must believe the special blonde lady was sexually harassed then, because the ugly girl is calling her a liar. And I'm like, that totally exposes this whole movement of people behind her who are just like, you must believe Blake Lively. And I'm like, but you're treating me the way that you're accusing other people of treating her. It's ridiculous.
But what's interesting is they didn't do a follow-up to say, hey, you got you were vindicated, and they
none of these people reached out to me except for the Daily Mail. Josh Boswell from the Daily Mail was the only person who ever contacted me. A long time after that, I heard from somebody from the Rolling Stone. That didn't go through. I don't think that article went through, but it was kind of ridiculous just to like see my face on all these websites. And I'm like, I'm right here. I would have freely spoken to you if you had asked me for a statement. They asked her attorneys for a statement, but they didn't ask me. I wonder why that is. You know what I mean? So it was just really interesting to see how that kind of plays out behind the scenes.
And then no follow-up.
No.
Guess what? Lauren was right. You know?
And then the attorneys, when they withdrew, they said, well, we've received the information we needed from this person, basically through other means. And I was like, excuse me, Judge Lyman, I didn't give them shit, is basically what I said. I wrote a letter after that, and I was like, hello, I would just like to state for the record that I did not give these people any information, and they're full of shit. Not like that. I'm, wrote professionally for the court, but it was just insane.
Well, it shows you how much power, though, you have. You said you're just you know what? They still fear you. They fear your opinion. They fear what you could, a person out here motivated that has no strings attached to them whatsoever is something that Hollywood never foresaw coming. They used to, they've always, we've seen it in every trial, these big trials when they come up, when we start talking about it, they come in. Now, you guys, them targeting you and trying to smear, the way they did that is like a next evolution of what we were seeing. It makes me wonder what comes next in the next trial.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys hear about the Kendrick Drake thing, or what was it? Drake and, God, who was in that trial? I don't know. Drake was involved in a lawsuit recently, and Drake had the same attorney as Blake. That rhymes, okay? But they also subpoenaed content creators in that case, and they were just like, "What the fuck?" So this is becoming a trend. Yeah,
that's not a good trend. I don't like it at all. I do not like it at all, and I think that it needs to be shut down by the courts. Kind of bothers me that Andy's subpoena hasn't been shut down by the judge.
Right. Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see what happens there, I guess.
Well, the judge here, and that was here in Florida, the judge here ruled that basically that he was not a journalist and not entitled to those protections. And, I saw a lot of people assume that his attorneys were doing a bad job, but I've also seen his attorneys explain things in a way that made sense to where they're like, no, the judge ruled incorrectly on this. So I think there's still a lot that I don't understand about that. But what I did come to learn based on his case here, which you can find if you look up on Court Listener or whatever, Popcorn Planet versus Blake Lively, I think it is. The law in Florida for what's defined as a journalist is so outdated. It's nuts.
Right. Oh, it's terribly outdated. We went over it on a stream not too long ago.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous because it doesn't take into consideration any social media at all. So that means Mr. Beast with millions of followers couldn't be considered like a television show, which is stupid. It's just stupid.
You should at the very least, you should afford content creators, I would think, protections for their sources. You know what I mean? And that's what he's asking for, really, is protection for his sources over the communications with his sources. And that's I think that's reasonable. Mm-hmm. Even if you think somebody's just for entertainment, though, it's like that's still a form of, in some way, journalism. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's complicated, though, because I was reading that. I was trying to be objective, and I was like, okay, I can kind of see this based on the law as it stands. However, I think the law as it stands is incorrect and wrong. So it's kind of interesting to look at that.
So I found this article that gives an update on the legal stuff going. I don't know if it's any good. It's in People, so it's probably terrible. But
Go, just hit me with it.
Yeah, I know. Justin Baldoni and co-defendants accuse Blake Lively's side of document dump as judge grants request to extend pre-trial deadline. This was 5 days ago.
That doesn't mean anything, really. It didn't move the trial date, and like a lot of these headlines have been saying Justin Baldoni wants to drag this out even longer, wants to make the trial even longer. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like he just extended the deadline for a couple of pre-trial documents by a week.
For 1 week.
And it did not move the trial date. And it's because he hasn't ruled on the pre-trial, not the pre-trial motions, but the dispositive motions ahead of trial that are going to make a huge difference for these parties. And like what these parties will have to do is charge their clients a whole bunch of money. Like these lawyers for the parties will have to charge the parties a whole bunch of money and spend a whole bunch of time doing stuff that's not going to matter if they don't know how he's going to rule on the summary judgment or the judgment on the pleadings motions. So it makes sense that they want an extension of time for that, just to wait and see, like, what is the court going to say here? And also because she's trying to slam them with like literally 1,000 potential exhibits there. You can see.
Yeah, it's right here.
1,000 potential exhibits. And some of them they say were like plainly inadmissible.
Trial.
Also, they said some of it was not included in discovery. So she's trying to bring up stuff for the very first time that never came out in discovery.
Of course.
And they're like, Justin Baldoni is trying to push the trial back. But okay. Yeah. So Blake brings up new evidence for the first time outside of the discovery deadline. And the headlines are, Justin wants to move the trial. Okay. Go fuck yourself.
When does the trial start?
May 18th. It's supposed to. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets moved again.
And it is in California, right?
No, it's in New York.
New York.
Yeah, I actually went out to the last the hearing on these summary judgment motions.
Worse.
I actually went out there and went to the federal court and saw the judge hear the arguments between the lawyers and everything. It was interesting, but it's in New York.
How did they get jurisdiction in New York? They don't live in New York, do they?
No. You know what? I don't know. That's a great question. Actually, you know what? They do. Never mind.
Oh, they do. They live in New York. Okay, well, that makes sense then. It says the filing also points to the 38-year-old actress identifying more than 40 potential witnesses, which the defense describes as further evidence of overbreadth. You think 40 witnesses? Jeez.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
This is what prosecutors do to defense teams too, right before trial. They'll dump a bunch of discovery on them, thousands and thousands of boxes, and drown you in paperwork so you can't find what you're looking for.
It's also what corporations do to you, when you sue them. Mm-hmm.
Look at this. They say they need more time to review the materials and finalize jury instructions, which currently span 85 pages.
Yeah.
Oh, can you imagine jury instructions being read in court that are 85 pages long? Everyone's going to be asleep.
That's what they're saying. Like, we don't want to even bother with this unless we can have a hearing and talk about what's, proper and what's not. And also they were hoping to get a ruling before that hearing, but just the headlines that I've been seeing about, like, oh, Baldoni's trying to drag out Baldoni's dragging this person to this, Baldoni doing this for PR, this for PR. I'm like, you guys don't even know how to read. Like, I swear to God, like, all you have to do is read these 3 sentences in this stupid biased article, and you can even tell. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, this is it's going to be very contentious and very nasty, it seems. Now, this is not going to be televised, right? Because New York,
no, it's federal.
It's federal court. So are you going to go? Are you going to be there?
I intend to. I've been not wanting to make any plans until I knew for sure what was going to happen, because if he is like, I've been too busy to rule on this, there's a possibility that in a couple days he's like, you know what, I'm kicking you guys back a couple months again. So I'm not trying to like plan my life around that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, yes, I intend to go at least for a couple of weeks.
How long is this trial supposed to go on?
A month, I believe.
Oh, that's too much. That's ridiculous. How come some civil cases?
13 causes of action, I think. I'm not positive. But he's going to rule down some of the... Am I... Guys in the chat...
There are some murder cases that you don't get more than 4 days.
Guys in chat, is
it... we have a murder case going on here. Yeah. 3 days. 3 days.
3 days. 3 days you get. 4 days for a murder case. Yet these idiots, because, it's Hollywood or whatever, and it's a big freaking civil case.
Well, she has 40 witnesses, Megan. 40 witnesses who saw him call her out sexy. Okay. So
they also have that other thing. They have that money, They have the money to pay for a freaking trial that long.
I don't know if you heard, but this man agreed that he used to stare at Britney Spears' midsection. So that to me, warrants a month-long taxpayer-funded stay in federal court.
Come on now. That's the other thing that bothers me is that it's not just the private attorneys paying for this. Our federal court system is being tied up by it.
Oh, yeah.
A federal courtroom is being tied up by Blake Lively for however long, a month, 2 months.
She got everything she wanted, and she basically brought forth this lawsuit because she was getting bad press. Like, she didn't care about the alleged sexual harassment, or she would have brought the lawsuit sooner. Okay, but she didn't bring a lawsuit until she was getting bad press.
Of course not.
Bad press, not because of the sexual harassment accusations, because those weren't public. Bad press because interviews from her past resurfaced, and like her behavior in the marketing of the film, which she had control over, surfaced, and people were mad at her. And so she was like, well, gotta find someone to blame it on.
This is terrible. I'm looking up the causes of action because 13 causes of action are insane. Okay, so
maybe
we have
I'm wrong. Like, I could be wrong.
No, you're right. No, you're right. That's what it says.
Yeah.
Tell me if any of these
causes of action.
Yeah, 13. Tell me if any of these sound wrong to you. But one is sexual harassment, hostile work environment, sexual harassment quid pro quo, gender discrimination, asserts she was treated unfairly because of her sex, retaliation, failure to prevent harassment and discrimination, aiding and abetting harassment and discrimination, intentional infliction of emotional distress.
She dropped the emotional distress stuff.
That's a hard one.
Okay,
to hit,
so
not
so
it's definitely a hard one to get if you're lying. I will tell you that.
Well, it's a hard one to get even if you're not. Just to be honest, that's one of the most difficult causes of action to hit. You know.
Yeah, she let that one go. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's two of them then, because one was intentional and one was negligent. So defamation, false light, invasion of privacy, breach of contract, interference with prospective economic advantage, claims her career opportunities were harmed, and civil conspiracy. Yeah. She's claiming RICO. What?
I mean, everybody's out to get her, Megan. You know, she's not a bitch. It's just everyone's out to get her. So
have any? I can't believe that almost all of these are making it to trial. Like, what happened?
Well, the thing is, like, he's probably going to throw some of this out. He just hasn't ruled on it yet. That's what we're waiting on now.
He hasn't ruled on it yet. Okay, because my God, that's a lot. That's a lot of.
Any day now, we're expecting him to put a ruling on that up, because the trial is, like I said, supposed to be on the 18th. It's barely like a month and a half away, and I'm just like, you gotta pick up the pace on this. I know that judges take their sweet ass time, but either pick up the pace on this or give us a new date now, because everything's about me. I can't schedule my life around this. So.
Now, weren't there some recordings? I remember these recordings. I remember listening to them. I thought we could play some of them and react to them because they're so funny. Of him, I don't know, is it recorded phone calls that she made with him?
Probably voice notes. The voice messages they sent back and forth.
Okay, so there was a recording, but there was a secretly recorded one too.
Oh yeah, so one of the people who worked on one of Wayfair's other projects, after Blake Lively came out with all these complaints, then scheduled a meeting with Steve Sarowitz, who is Justin Baldoni's, he's like the co-owner of Wayfair Studios, and he's like in charge of everything. He's basically he bankrolls everything pretty much. Steve does. And she schedules a meeting with Steve about her project, this other film called Empire Waste. And she didn't tell him she was recording. And then she records Steve and asks him about like what's going on with all the press surrounding It Ends With Us and all that. And then she sends that recording over to Blake Lively. And Blake Lively tries to use that totally impromptu. I'm sure she didn't at all, have any motivation behind that random recording to say Steve Sarowitz threatened her basically by saying she would take them down like Israel and Hamas. And he made like a kind of a comparison there, but it wasn't like a violent type thing. He was saying he would defend the studio like Israel would defend themselves against Hamas. And like, whether or not you agree with that politically, it's pretty clear that he wasn't saying he's going to attack Blake Lively physically. You know what I mean? He was saying he would defend his company. if he had to.
Well, the one that I bothered me, the people were saying, "Oh, it's so creepy. It's so creepy." I did not.
I think I know what you're talking about. It was the one that was like kind of late at night. He sent, and like, what people don't know is it was in response to a message she sent late at night. But yeah.
Well, and yeah, like he could be tired. He could be, God knows, why? Maybe he's talking quietly.
You know, I haven't heard this in a while.
Kids.
Yeah,
let's listen. Let's listen to this. Tug, have you heard this?
Probably a while back, you know,
right,
but I just don't remember very well.
Hey, Blake. It is 2 a.m. Hopefully this does not wake you up. Whew. Wow. There's so much I want to say to you, and I hope that we can FaceTime or see each other in person soon and get to talk more. But I'm just going to send you a few thoughts, and hopefully it's not going to be more than a few minutes, but I don't have the best track record.
To me, this sounds like a guy who's scared.
He is scared.
Yeah.
No, he does. He sounds scared, like that. There's a lot, you know. Oh, look at your dog.
Yeah. Oh my God, I gotta.
Oh my God, that dog is so cute. But like, it sounds like he's trying not to say the wrong thing.
Yep, that was pretty much his life for a few months.
Oh,
I think either one of us have the best track record for our voice memos. I want to start with an apology. Man, reading the second part of your message, my heart sank, and I'm really sorry. I for sure fell short, and you worked really hard on that, and the way you framed it, and how that made you feel. I just want to say thank you for sharing that with me. That takes a lot.
I don't know what more you could ask from an apology on this. Like if someone upset you and you get this in response, to be like, wow, I dropped the ball. I fell short, and thank you for telling me, and you worked so hard.
He's like the opposite of like aggressive, you have to do what I say male director, you know what I mean? And she's still like, he harassed me with his kindness. You know what I mean? Like, so fucking dumb.
Yeah, that's that whole love bombing.
Oh my God. There's this lady, and she somehow got a degree from somewhere. Okay. But she's a psychologist or something, and she came out and said he was like love bombing and triangulating and all this shit. I'm like, lady, somebody needs to take your phone and put you in a padded room. Like, that is so fucking dumb.
Yeah. How do you,
Dr. Dobson or something? And I heard her comment on Laura Owens too, and I was like, you are the dumbest person with a degree I have ever encountered.
Well, it's not really fair to get on somebody for being too nice.
No,
like he's giving you a textbook apology right here. Here's one where I would not yell at my children for this kind of apology. I'm always constantly yelling at them for the way they apologize to each other, because they never do it right. It's always, well, I'm sorry that you felt that way. Now that's not how you apologize. The apology is, I did something wrong. I'm sorry I hurt you.
That would have been a better way for Baldoni. He also didn't see this coming. See, the best way, if you're covering your ass, that's the way. I'm sorry you felt that way.
Well, he thought also, keep in mind when you listen to these kinds of messages, now that we've seen all the discovery that's come out, and we haven't seen everything, but we've seen enough, that she was also telling him when he was acting like this, it's okay, you're safe here. I'm not going to do anything. You're safe. She literally said that.
That's diabolical.
She literally said that. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Oh, that's giving Laura Owens.
It's nasty. It's disgusting. Yeah.
It's awful.
A lot of trust and vulnerability, and I feel really grateful that you feel safe enough to tell me that that's how you feel and share that with me. And I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
I f***ed up. That is a fail on my part.
Wow.
One thing you should know about me is I will admit and apologize when I fail.
Well, Justin, I hope you've learned your lesson. Never admit, never apologize ever again, because this is what you get for it. You still get sued. Can you believe that she sued him still after this, Tug?
Yes, I actually can. I very much can. She was probably looking at this like he would be an easy mark for a lawsuit. Honestly, everything you could blame it, and he allowed it. I mean, he allowed everything to be blamed on him. And I'm not saying that the other way of being like a hard ass is better, but hard asses, that's what you expect in Hollywood. You get a nice guy there, and it sounds like certain people will run them over.
Mm-hmm.
And he may be talking like this too, using the cliches and the psychological talk and everything, because that's the way they're trained now to deal with this. They're like to make sure that you're creating safe spaces and that you're being open to everyone's feelings, and that this is all. It's not his fault that language has crept into the vernacular. Right. It really isn't. I mean, maybe he is kind of a douchebag for using it. But I don't think so. I think this is the kind of vernacular that's expected to be used now when you're dealing with these batshit crazy females who could destroy your life.
Well, I just think he's doing everything that people say you're supposed to do. Like,
right.
This is how, because they say that like women have been, and I'm not saying women haven't been subject to terrible conditions in the workplace. That's obviously not what I'm saying. But like they're saying this is how we're supposed to correct this. You're supposed to be like this. And so he acts in a way that's like apologetic and very careful of her feelings. And then she's like, oh my God, you're gross and creepy.
Right. And the internet was saying that too. Like the internet was saying how, in fact, watch, I bet if I go to these comments, they're all going to be like, this is creepy. I like this one. This is definitely none of my business. Hey, there's not that many creepy comments here. I like this. Naturally charismatic.
I mean, they're around, but there aren't as many as there used to be.
I like this one. She caught feelings.
And that was in the beginning. That was a big theory, but I actually disagree with that. I think it's pretty clear she hated him and looked down on him the whole time. But
I think she was trying to set him up for he sounds like her therapist.
He does.
Yes.
Yeah. This is creepy. There you go. There's one.
This is creepy. Let's see the replies. Yeah. Oh Lord, I don't know, but like I don't find this creepy. I find it kind of sad.
It is sad.
I feel him. I feel like he's panicked.
Yeah,
and he's trying to save this project he's working on, his reputation, his everything. I think he can see it. He can see that this could go really badly for him, and he's trying to stop it. And that makes me sad because it feels anxious is how it feels to me.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, he's worked on projects before, obviously, but like this was his first like huge project like this. And the movie still, despite everything, did very well because like this drama didn't really come out until afterwards. You know what I mean? Like there were the like whisperings or whatever on TikTok, which not something I really paid attention to. I didn't know much about it until the lawsuits came out, but the movie still performs pretty well despite her kind of terrorism. But it was his first like really big project.
I'm surprised that the movie did well. It is so bad.
It was. I think that there was a big fan, culture behind the Colleen Hoover book, which like I said, I read a passage and I was like, this is, I'm in pain. But like I don't know either. But apparently there was like a built-in fandom around this, and so that probably helped with it. So
there's almost 90,000 ratings for it on audio alone, but man,
there's an audiobook of that. That is horrible.
Oh yeah, 12 hours. Because I thought, at first when that came up, I thought the same thing. I was like,
let me tell you something. So when she started trying to get other women to rally around her for this lawsuit, she picked one girl. Her name's Isabella. She played the younger version of Blake Lively's character in the movie. And Isabella, when being deposed, was asked what was so inappropriate. And she said that Justin, the director, asked Isabella is an adult woman in her 20s, by the way, to lick a spoon with cookie dough on it. And she was like, I just felt like my underage character shouldn't do that. That was inappropriate. And so I went and I read the passage in the book. And in the book, the character licks the spoon. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, he didn't make it up. It's in the book.
Well, not only
are you downloading it right now to Audible?
No, I tried to listen to it, and I'm definitely. I wouldn't be. To be fair, let's just say I would not be the core audience anyway for that book.
The book is very, very cheesy from what I can tell.
Well, it's about, well, no, I thought it was about domestic violence. I thought it was all serious and stuff. Isn't that?
It is, but there's also like a background teenage romance in there where she reconnects with the guy she was in love with in high school. So it flashes back to the younger version of her having that romance. And that's where she like licks the spoon. And the actress who played the younger version of her character legitimately tried to say Justin Baldoni was inappropriate for telling her to lick the spoon when her character does that in the book that the movie is based on. And she was like, but my character is underage. She's licking a spoon. Like, what? That's what they're complaining about. That's the kind of thing they're complaining about.
Then go after the author then, because the author was the one that put it in the book.
Right.
Tug, when you tried to listen to it, when was this? A while ago?
When all of this stuff started, yeah.
How far did you get?
Not
to the roof scene? Was it the roof scene?
That's been a long time. I didn't get very far. I was like, well, maybe if I speed it up, I kept going faster. So, started at 1 and I got it up to 2 speed where it's just really talking like this, really fast. And I was like, man, I can't even stand it through this. So I was like, well, if this gets really crazy, and then, I started covering all of this other insanity. So.
All right. Well, someone needs to explain to me Wayfarer. I keep hearing it and seeing it popping up. Wayfarer is not the same thing as Wayfair, where they sell kids as expensive cabinets or pillows or something, right?
It's the studio, the Wayfair studio.
Wait. How did you just describe that? I'm curious. Say that again. They sell, because the way it came across in my headphones, it sounded like you said they sell kids as.
I did.
Expensive cabinets.
I did.
I was like, wait a minute.
That is what I said. Did you not know about the Wayfair conspiracy? Because it's really funny. It's not funny, actually. It's really disturbing.
It's terrifying, apparently.
No one can explain why they were selling $12,000 pillows with pictures of kids on them. Like that's one really pillow weird. For $12,000 with a picture of a random kid.
What?
Yeah, well, look it up. And
I'm gonna pass on looking that up. Actually, thank you.
Filing cabinets that are like $24,000 for just like a normal steel cabinet, and named after kids, like named Nicole. Like buy this this cabinet named Nicole for $25,000. I'm not saying that they were trafficking kids. I'm just saying
that was the conspiracy. Yeah,
it was weird. It was weird, and that was the conspiracy. Yes, but to me, that's how I will always remember Wayfair. But Wayfarer is the movie studio. Is that correct?
Yeah. Thanks for
that. Good. That's a rabbit hole that you definitely want to go down later, because it's
I'm good.
Really
I'm good. I think I'm good.
It's quite insane.
No,
that's the way I look at. That's the way I look at art sales. I'm sure that people who buy that modern art shit are buying people. They're not buying that garbage for $500,000. No, you're buying a person. You're buying some poor soul that got trafficked, to Saudi Arabia somewhere. You're not buying that piece of junk that I could have done in my garage for $500,000. I don't believe it. I think that art sales are the biggest cover for human trafficking ever. That was a joke, YouTube. Please don't demonetize me. I'm not being.
I gotta let my mom in the door. I'll be right back.
Okay, we'll keep listening to this creepy audio.
I am far from perfect. I'm a very.
He sounds like AI, doesn't he?
My wife.
Yes,
that's what I thought when I
started. Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah, I mean, he really does. He sounds like. It's
Wait,
bad.
Does he sound like this? Wait, I think I have the perfect voice for this. Finally.
Hey, wait. It's really late. Sorry.
It does sound like they're both created by AI. Oh my God, that's amazing.
This doesn't wake you. I really wanted you to feel safe.
How did that do?
They sound really both of them AI. I mean, if you were to say are these both created? I would think that the real one was just that voice, that type of voice, just sped up a little bit. That's so bizarre.
And I'm.
Oh, that's perfect. Hold on.
And
holy crap!
I'm gonna f up. I'm gonna say the wrong thing. I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth. I'm gonna piss you off probably, but I will always apologize.
Oh no, Glow says I bought my kitchen island from Wayfair. Was there a kid in it? Did you
Oh no.
Did you check? Just
and find my way back to center. That is one thing I can assure you of. And I'm sorry I made you feel that way. That must have felt terrible. And I will for sure do better. That was not my best weekend, and I should have given it more time. And damn right, you got great friends if that's how you felt and they knew that. And we should all have friends like that, aside from the fact that they're two of the most creative people on the planet.
Oh God, is he talking about Taylor Swift?
Oh, what a mess.
There is nothing more insufferable than a person with famous friends who name drops them.
That's what you need in your life, isn't it? Be like, totally, you know who I know? You won't get my decaf freaking no foam latte, but I know Megan Fox. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start driving that.
And I think, can you imagine how her end of the conversation went? Was she like, and when I told Taylor what you did, Taylor wrote a song about it, and it's #1 right now. Like, what?
I heard something about a no foam latte.
We were talking about how actually play that AI and then just imagine
my AI
a little
voice?
more, imagine this sped up a little bit more and tell me that. Oh, go ahead, do it.
I could have done so much better. I am so sorry. It wasn't my best moment.
Yeah.
What?
It sounds like that. It sounds like Baldoni on that message, except
vaguely,
it's a little
like
slower.
Vaguely, very vaguely.
Yeah, but he sounds like AI. He doesn't sound like a human being in that.
These
Like when I
are
listen to it,
it's like a very crisp voice note. I'll give it that.
yeah, it's kind of amazing, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But also, like this thing that he just said about, oh, you have amazing friends and they're the most talented people on the planet. Like, I'm dying to know what she said to him. Like, I told Taylor, and Taylor didn't like anything you did. Taylor said that I was being abused or whatever. Like, I'm dying to hear what she said Taylor said.
Oh, she never said any of that to him, but she sure said it to other people behind the scenes.
Well, it sounds like she said it to him.
She was when it came to the actually finish listening to the note and then we'll get into it.
All right.
People on the planet.
Here, I got to back up a little.
You guys creative people on the planet. Aside from the fact that they're two of the most creative people you felt, and you got great friends. If that's how you felt, and they knew that, and we should all have friends like that. Aside from the fact that they're two of the most creative people on the planet.
So who's he talking about? It's got to be Taylor.
It is. So she wanted to do more than just be an actress, which she was hired to be an actress, but we all know she wanted to take over his movie. She wanted to direct, she wanted to write, and so she made some revisions to some scene and gave it to him, which was unwarranted. He did not really want that from her. It's his project. But he didn't give her the response that she wanted. He was basically just like, thanks for your input. He didn't say it like that. He said something much more polite in the tone of what you would hear in this voice note, right? He was like, basically, thank you for this or whatever. I value your input. But he didn't really say anything else. And she wanted him to basically be like, oh my God, yes, we're going to use your writing. This is amazing. You know what I mean? But it was
instead he was like, great.
Yeah. And so she... Yeah, so she had like Taylor Swift, I guess, Taylor Swift and Ryan in her corner, and she used them to throw like their weight behind her and basically be like pressuring him into using her version of things and saying like, well, they, support me or whatever. I feel like I've been undervalued in the past, and I don't want that to happen here. I wish I had the message. It was like the never with teeth message, wasn't it? If anyone in the chat has a doc number for that text, because I know there are some people who can just like fire that one off. Let me know and I'll look it up for them. But yeah.
Yeah, it's gross though to be name dropping your famous husband and famous friend as to get what you want or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just gross. It's gross. And like you can hear the trepidation in his voice anyway, like, oh, we should all be so lucky, but we can't because these are very incredibly famous people.
She also used, Matt Damon, Bradley Cooper. She even tried to use Ben Affleck to take this movie from this man. Yeah. So I don't. You guys didn't see any of this discovery, did you? So she wrote emails to.
We've seen nothing.
She tried to enlist Matt Damon, his wife. She tried to enlist Ben Affleck. She tried to enlist Bradley Cooper to like watch her edit of the film and throw support for her edit to be used instead of his, and she won. And so they used her cut of the film instead of his. So the director's cut has never been shown. He did not get any say in like.
Maybe that's why it was so bad.
Could fucking be, yeah. And so like, and then people will try to defend that and be like, well, hers was just better. But no, they did a bake off. They tested this with audiences, and his was better. And she still terrorized Sony into using her cut. And you can see this in the email she writes to them. She says, we're using mine, because she went and got Colleen Hoover, the writer of the book, on her side and was like, Colleen and I want this cut. This is what we're using. That's it. Basically, she was like not going to promote the film or participate unless they gave her what she wanted. And she has the nerve to be like, I was a helpless, powerless employee, and this man sexually harassed me because he said my outfit was sexy. And now please give me hundreds of millions of dollars. You know what I mean? Like, this is fucking nuts.
How, as an actress, do you even get access to do your own cut of the film?
You're not supposed to, but she bullied her way into it. Basically, like, so I think the 17-point list is a pretty famous part of this lawsuit, which is she sat them down after the break in filming happened. There was the strike, and so they shut down. And when they were about to come out, she sat them down and said, basically, I won't participate anymore in this. Unless you sign this list of 17 points. And the list of the 17-point list said things that were obvious and like were not happening on set. But she said, if you don't sign this document that says these things will not happen, I won't move forward. And so she made them sign this document that basically said, we won't watch you breastfeed, which is like she insisted that they meet her in her trailer while she was breastfeeding. And she was like, you sign this document that says you won't watch me breastfeed. You won't do this or that. You won't call my outfit sexy. You won't do this or that. And she makes them sign this document or she won't move forward. And then she holds it over their head like a terrorist and says, like, give me what I want. Or basically she's going to come out and ruin their lives with this 17-point list and make it look like they were actually doing those things before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Look at this. So this was in January. Blake Lively branded a fucking terrorist. As it ends with us, star claims Justin Baldoni admitted he didn't listen to women who said no to his advances. Wow, that's quite the headline. A senior producer on It Ends With Us called Blake Lively an effing terrorist over her 17-point list of demands to return to the set of the movie. Andrea Giannetti used the harsh description of the actress in court documents seen by the Daily Mail after she unveiled her requirements in November of 2023, potentially sabotaging the entire project. Giannetti said the production of the film was a shit show and that Lively thought that the film's director, Baldoni, who also co-starred, was unprepared, indecisive, and inexperienced, according to court papers. According to Lively, Baldoni was too sensitive and took criticism to heart too easily. Yeah, well, we can see that happening in real.
Well, she tried to like also put in that 17-point list like no crying in front of me. Basically, I think one of them was like no crying in the trailer or something. I was like, what the fuck?
I'm wondering, do they have this list in here? I want to see what the list is.
I can find it for you. It's if they don't have it in there, I'll find it. It's really easy to find.
But see, it came after she was allegedly harassed. This is the scene where I quit watching right here. It
was so bad. Apparently, Ryan Reynolds rewrote that rooftop scene, by the way. That was a whole controversy.
Oh, it was so bad.
I was like, do you really want to claim your fame to that? Because it was really shitty writing. Like, it was so bad.
Why didn't they put the 17-point list in here?
That's a good question.
This is bad, Daily Mail. You should have put the list in here. I want to see what the 17 things are.
I can pull it up really easily.
All right, cool. You find it because I'm dying to see that. Or we'll go back to the audio while you look for that.
The three of you guys together. It's unbelievable.
Oh my God, that's not over. Sorry.
Force all three of you. But I just wanted you to know that I didn't need that because it's really good. And it's going to make the movie sing, like you said. And I'm excited to go through the whole movie with you. I'm just excited to spend time with you.
Okay. I like this. Is Megan going to provide a 17-point list of J-Hip? Yes. I am definitely going to provide. I'm going to definitely do one of those.
What does Jay do now?
What does he always? What does he?
I haven't talked
never
to Jay
stops.
since he had my friend David on his podcast. I'm not over
Yeah,
that.
that's pretty much when everybody stopped talking to Jay because he can't. He doesn't do things correctly.
You know, I'm not good at being mad at people, so I kind of want to.
No, I'm just teasing.
I want to get over it. I was kind of like, Jay, what are you doing?
That was kind of funny because I talked to Jay. I was like, "What did you do? There's so many people mad
Everyone's
at
so
you."
mad.
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh, you didn't see my show?" So I went back and I was like, "Wow, that was a choice."
That was a choice. Yeah, that was a choice. Oh, and then I love how I get blamed for it when I'm just in the chat. Like I was just in the chat. Well, how do I get blamed for the show that's not on my channel?
Well,
I don't run.
It was your fault, you know.
I think it was your fault.
What? What?
I think we're in agreement here.
Yeah, exactly. There we go.
If you are new here, if you are just showing up, make sure you hit that like button and make sure that you subscribe. If you are not subscribed, do hit the like. We are live right now on YouTube and on Rumble. I forgot to put up the Super Tips link, but I'll do that in a minute. We also have the AKA the Cat Lady. Thanks for the 2 says the defamation versus Stephanie Jones is going forward. Who's Stephanie Jones?
The publicist who basically lit the match that started all of this. She was the publicist for Justin Baldoni and Wayfair. Stephanie Jones and JonesWorks. She's also pretty controversial for having worked with like The Rock and Tom Brady, and she's known to kind of retaliate against her clients after they drop her off. And apparently The Rock is somehow tied into all of this. It's like an adjacent lawsuit to this one, but she's the one who, through Taylor Swift's friend and Taylor Swift, got the text messages to Blake Lively.
So who's suing her for defamation?
She is suing the Wayfair parties and Jennifer Abel for, like contract issues, but they also counterclaimed against her for defamation, among other things. And so the judge ruled last week that her motion to dismiss on their defamation claims was invalid. So the defamation claims are going to move forward. She's going to be in some hot water, I think. So.
All right. I think I have the demands. I think I found them.
Oh, do you find it? Okay. Because I was getting distracted.
It's okay. No more showing nude videos or images of women to Lively or her staff.
Yeah, so that was they had a birthing scene in the movie, and so they had the thought of doing like a home birth type thing, and so they showed her a clip of Jamie Heath, the producer, and Jamie's wife holding their baby after their home birth. There's no genitalia in the image. She saw 1 second of a clip, and there was a baby in it. It was not pornography. She referred to it as pornography in her complaint. Among other things, she says this was porn. I was sexually harassed, and then she went so far as to demand that the judge order Jamie Heath's wife to turn over all of their home birthing footage to her. Disgusting, by the way.
What?
Yeah,
I heard that, and I was like, wait a minute, why? Why would this even? And I didn't know.
Because she's desperate.
But if she only saw 1 second of a clip, why would she be entitled to all of it?
Because she thinks that if she can get her hands on the rest of the footage, she can make it look like it was more pornographic. It's a home birth. There's nothing pornographic about it. But she thinks she can make it look more harassing. And his lawyers made a mistake in like wording and not saying like objecting to her receiving all of the footage. Like they thought she was just asking for that footage that she saw, and the judge basically ruled in her favor and said, well, you guys didn't object to her receiving all of the footage, so she gets to see it all now.
No.
So she gets to violate his wife's privacy, by the way, and do something totally disgusting. But she's the one who's being harassed,
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's nasty.
And the judge allowed it? This is the thing that I don't understand. How does the judge allow
The judge
that?
has made some pretty questionable decisions a lot of times on that one, though. Omar and I, went over it and we both agreed. Their attorneys, they did kind of fall through on that one. They did kind of drop the ball. And I can see why they did that. It's like, no, who would ever ask for something like that? So why would they think to object to that? It seemed obvious that she was asking for the footage that she was shown. But no, technically, her lawyers argued that technically they wanted all the footage. And so she's just pushing the boundaries of everybody at this point.
Wow. All right, number 2 of the 17-point list. No more discussion of pornography addiction, Baldoni and Heath. What?
Yeah, so she claims that he brought up his pornography addiction at some point. I don't know what the context of that was. I believe it was brought up in his deposition. I can't remember because like I told you earlier, she kept saying things like, you're safe here. And she made him think they were friends. And so he like opened up to her about stuff the way she opened up to him about stuff. So he may have at some point brought that up, but it wasn't like creepy.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Also, yeah, you can have a discussion about an addiction of any kind with a friend that is not creepy or gross in any way. Number 3 is no more discussion of Lively's own porn consumption or lack thereof.
Yeah, so at some point, someone on set said something about, I don't know, because Blake had brought up that she had never, I think she said she had never watched porn. Someone in the chat will have to correct me if that's wrong, but obviously she had participated in that discussion because she wouldn't have said that otherwise. But like, apparently somebody made a joke about that and she didn't like it. I don't remember who it was or what the context was, but she's making something out of nothing.
All right, number 4 would kill me in my current position as a YouTube streamer. I would not be able to continue if this were imposed on me. Number 4, no more sexual conversations or anecdotes in front of her.
So the sexual conversations that she considers sexual conversations are like, they were talking about sex scenes that they were doing in the movie. And he, in his vision as the director, wanted the woman to climax on screen. And she was like, he had this idea, which the intimacy coordinator kind of vetoed as well, because she was like, this is a bad idea. This is not how this usually happens. That the woman would climax, Blake's character would climax, but the male character would not climax on screen. And so they had discussions about that to where she said, oh my God, I would be mortified if that happened to me and Ryan. And then Justin says, oh, well, some of the most beautiful moments between me and Emily, my wife, has been when she's climaxed or whatever. And that's when that happens. And she's like, ew, gross. Don't talk to me about your sex life.
How can you make a movie with a sex scene you're supposed to be in without discussing it?
Creative environments often involve like the artists drawing on their own experiences. And she talks about this like it's a fucking 9-to-5 office job at, you know, like Home Depot or something. Like it's ridiculous. But like they were talking about a sex scene. Him talking about, you know, sex is not out of pocket. So.
No. This would be me every 5 seconds, though.
That's what she said.
I on set. That's what she said. I can't help myself.
Extra large and extra hard.
All right, knock it off, Ben. Nobody needs to hear that. No more. Number 5, no more discussion of personal sexual experiences, including spouses. So that's what you were talking about.
That's what I was just telling you about, yeah.
No more discussion of non-consensual sexual experiences as victim or perpetrator.
That's it. So he talked about how his girlfriend sexually violated him once. And there's text messages that came out in Discovery where she and Taylor Swift are mocking him for it. That's why everybody got so upset, because Taylor sends a link where it says Justin Baldoni opens up about his girlfriend basically sexually assaulting him when they were in college. And she says, look at this bitch with this tiny violin. So like a lot of people are being like, oh my God, girl boss standing up for your friend, whatever. I'm like, no, they were mocking his like own sexual abuse, his experience of sexual abuse and him talking about that. And they're like, look at this bitch with his tiny violin. That's not a girl boss. You're just being a cunt at that point. Like, I don't know what else to say about that. And I'm not a Taylor Swift hater, but what she did in that moment was not okay. I'm really not a hater. And I know people are very strong about Taylor Swift, but it's just like what she said at that moment was not okay with me. So
this is awful. I mean, Tug, doesn't this remind you of the way when we talk about, you know, how these cases, when they brought against women, like in, I don't know, like Sarah Boone or the OnlyFans killer or whatever, that no one, it's always like a source of mockery that men can be abused or used by women instead of there being that empathy that exists women in that situation.
There is no reason to talk about your own stories. I will never, I'll be honest, I will never tell people anything personal in my life like that. If I have anything, I will never talk about something like that, because it's, you know, it's weaponized against you. It's not even, it's not that they're mocking it, that they will weaponize it. These people will. And
that's what she did with this 17-point list.
Yep. So, I mean, that's and this is the problem is that we look at it a lot of times and people see this like a typical part, like, you know, like you're like, oh my God, that's terrible. No, that's typical. That's unfortunate, but that's typically how society treats that. You know, we're fighting a nasty, you think about, like, when we talk about Me Too, for example, you know, Me Too was supposed to be a movement about men and women that were in there. So we're supposed to have everybody, you know, but it suddenly became about, you know, going out and accusing men with these high profile Hollywood starlets that hijacked a movement that should have been able to be there to help everybody. And it was so awful. But yeah, I'm not surprised by it at all. It happens all the time.
It's so gross, though. It's so upsetting. It's so upsetting. I wish it would stop, because if someone, and I'm seeing here that, yeah, he actually talked about this in the press of having this having this sexual abuse in his past, and that's just really terrible. It's just really awful. It's
when she came out with this stuff too, like some podcasts where he went on and talked about this stuff was they were removed from the internet. When he had to go in for his deposition, her lawyer came out swinging. The first thing he asked was like, tell me about when you were sexually harassed. And he like tried to downplay that and be like, well, did you tell her before you went to the press and talked about it? I'm like, well, no, he was actually sexually assaulted. Your client was told by her director that her character's outfit was sexy. That's not the same. Like,
oh my goodness. This is awful. Yeah. All right. So let's see. There is, so
that is terrible.
I guess in People magazine, which of course is a terrible source. I hate using it, but he revealed he was traumatized by an ex-girlfriend when he was hoping to save himself for marriage. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah. Okay, it's not okay to make fun of. It's not okay to like be. So she's accusing him of sexual harassment. Meanwhile, he's opening up to her about actual abuse.
Right, because she says, "This is, you're safe with me. We can talk about this stuff." You know what I mean? Like, just terrible.
Yeah, that's terrible. Okay, so number 7, no more entering her trailer uninvited, especially while undressing or breastfeeding.
Heavily disputed that they were uninvited, but she basically wouldn't meet with these people unless it was like, she didn't want to meet at the times they wanted to meet. So Jamie, the producer, is knocking on her trailer while she's getting like makeup removed, I think. And so she didn't have a top on. But he isn't like staring at her going in there. Like apparently she was covered from, you know, there down. And that's just apparently what happened. I wasn't there. Obviously, I can't tell you if she was totally covered or not. I'm assuming that she was, because I think when people get their makeup removed, they're not totally butt-ass naked in front of the makeup artist. But that's just me, you know? So I'm assuming that she had something covering her from, you know, like the nipples down.
And if she didn't, that was probably a choice she made.
And she said, you know, okay, fine, come in, we can talk. And he comes in and she says, just like, you know, like, don't look at me or whatever, which is a fine request. And he apparently did not look at her. He wasn't like looking at her, but apparently at some point while she was talking to him, he accidentally made eye contact with her, and that was a problem.
Jeez.
Yeah. And so she's like, you're ogling me. You're ogling me. You know what I mean?
This reminds me of, there are stories about celebrities that don't allow eye contact with them. Yeah. One of them is Mariah Carey. She rented out my aunt's house for a music video, and they were allowed to be there, but they were instructed very clearly, do not make eye contact with Miss Carey. You're not allowed to make eye contact. So she comes in the room, you're supposed to hide so she doesn't see you. They were like, no, thanks. I think we'll go out to dinner. Like you guys enjoy the house. We'll be back later.
Can you imagine getting to that level where you're like, no, you know, I can't even have you peons, you plebeians to look me in the eye. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Well,
It
I just
is.
can imagine thinking a guy would show you like a happy home birth moment with his wife and newborn child, and then also thinking you're staring at my titties. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
excuse me. Pick
Yeah.
one or the other. Like,
Yeah,
either
that's
he's
not
like
okay.
overly enthusiastic about his wife and his home life, or he's staring at your tits. Like, which one is it?
Which one is it?
Yeah.
All right. No more comments about her body, attractiveness, or sex appeal. No, I'm sorry. When you're an actress in Hollywood, you don't get to make this. You don't get to make this request because the entire thing. That's what it's about.
Well, Sony,
What kind of
Sony asked them to
want?
make the movie sexier. Sony wanted them to sex up the movie, and so they had to talk about that stuff. But like, what she was really upset about was him saying the outfit that her character was wearing looked sexy on her or whatever.
Well, why would that be upsetting to her?
I don't know.
This is so stupid. Look at all the pictures of her you see in the press. Is she or is she not trying to be sexy?
I mean, I can't tell.
Okay, here's one. Here's one. Here's one. Let's just pull this up. It's in the first article that I happen to have on the Daily Mail. Here's the photo that she shares that she's all very happy. Oh, you're not trying to be sexy in a skin tight dress with your tit hanging out on one side? Come on.
Is that, I can't tell if that's like a nude colored dress or if it's see-through on some points.
It looks like there's a slip that goes to about here and then it's see-through from the thigh down.
I think some people said that was a dress that Britney Spears wore.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wearing this to look like a school marm. You're wearing it to look sexy. She's not going into a nunnery.
No.
There's tits a poppin', as we would say.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear Hollywood actresses that walk the red carpet like this. I don't want to hear them complaining that on set they're being told to sex it up or whatever. Like that, literally, you chose this industry.
Mm-hmm.
You chose the sexy industry. You chose this. This is what.
I also sincerely doubt that if a high-profile director had ever made a comment about wardrobe being sexy on the actress, that they would ever complain about it. You know what I mean? They just like took advantage of this man at every corner of the way, and like she rallied these women behind her who were upset because one of them wanted to be, you know, more involved in producing, one of them wanted to be the director, and they said no to them, and they didn't like that they were told no, and they wanted more power over the film. And so she rallied these people behind her to say like, these men are misogynistic and terrible, and I'm like, no, this just wasn't your project, and so you don't get that much of a say in it, and you kind of have to deal with it.
Nobody,
like the rest of the women in America who have to work for people and think they could do better, you have to wait your turn and apply for higher jobs in management so you can be in charge. You don't get to take over someone else's job.
Right. I like this one. No more asking about her weight. Again, this is the industry that you are in. They get to have a weight limit. And
well, that
telling
one
you,
was
no more bagels today. You're on fruit only.
So he asked like a mutual trainer who was also, he had been a trainer for Blake, I guess, asked this guy what she weighed because he has a back injury and they had to do a lift scene. And he was like, how much do you think Blake weighs?
Perfectly valid.
Right. And so the trainer then he wrote a declaration, by the way, the trainer did, said, I thought that was so inappropriate. So I went and told Blake what he said to me. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this trainer's a little shit stirrer.
Inappropriate. Why is it inappropriate for a man to worry that he might have a back problem if he lifts a certain weight?
It's not inappropriate for literally anyone to worry about that. Like, I think that that's like a totally appropriate thing to be concerned about, especially like he was trying not to hurt her feelings, so he didn't ask her. He asked the trainer, like, how much do you think I need to be prepared to lift? Like, and so she never needed to know about that. But the trainer went behind his back and went to her and was like, hey, by the way, he thinks you're a fatty.
Oh my God.
He didn't say it like that. I'm being
talk about stirring shit. I like number 10. No more references to her dead father. What?
Oh my God. Yeah. So he's like a very religious person from what I can tell. And I believe he said something along the lines of like praying and like thinking of her father or whatever. But she made it out to be like, he said he was talking to my dead daddy for me and stuff like that. Like, it was just kind of crazy. And like, and I understand like some people are uncomfortable with religion. So that one I kind of reserve judgment on. But at the same time, after everything that's come out now, I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's very, very clear that he was just like saying he was going to keep your father in his thoughts. And like when he was praying, he was going to like think about your father or whatever, because she was talking to him about her dead dad.
About her dad.
Right.
Yeah, it didn't just
So
come
she
out
would
of
talk
nowhere.
to him about this stuff and then be like, why are you bringing this up?
And then number 11, maintain professionally only communications on set. So she doesn't want to be friends with anybody. She wants to be completely office safe. Okay. Number 12, no more improvised intimacy or physical contact outside agreed choreography.
She claimed that, and have you guys seen the dance scene footage? That was pretty famous, right?
Yeah, I did.
Seen some of it. Yeah, should we pull
The
it
dance,
up?
yeah, the dance scene footage is what she's complaining about. She's saying he did unscripted intimacy with no intimacy coordinator present, like unscripted kissing. The unscripted kissing in question is a kiss on the forehead. And she was like, we didn't agree to that or whatever. I'm like, lady, he didn't like make out with you unprompted. Like, that's not what happened. And so like he kissed her on the forehead during the dance scene when she like allegedly didn't expect him to, and she's like, oh my god, he was doing all this unscripted stuff. And I'm like, lady, you're two characters in love in a scene where you're falling in love and dancing
on the forehead
right.
is the thing she's worried about.
And so her evidence that came out in Discovery, by the way, all of the footage she had in Discovery was 3 different angles of that same scene. She has nothing.
She has okay. So this says Lily and Ryle.
Ryle's the character's name.
What a
Ryle.
stupid name. Slow dance in the bar. Patrons around them drinking and watching sports, completely in their own world.
Right.
So she wanted it to be completely scripted and not improvised.
Yeah. Oh, I see it.
Yeah, that's what I'm supposed to say. Ready, everyone? Talking here at the bar. Something's on the screen.
And can you give us a couple cues of like this score?
And he's directing the scene
just so
as well.
everyone else around us is having a moment.
But is it as rambunctious as it was earlier on?
No, it's never going to be because we're in slow mo. But just they're watching. People are watching games. We see some, just some hands and things like that.
To like, okay.
I may not always love you.
She's a fucking terrible actress.
Yeah, she's pretty bad.
Oh, you never need to doubt it. I'll make you so sure about it.
They score!
That's it. That's the unscripted kissing.
Oh yeah, she looks so uncomfortable.
And they explicitly don't kiss because they're supposed to be almost kissing in this scene. So he's not like trying to kiss her. They're talking to each other about it, even saying like, we don't give the audience the kiss. We're like going in for the kiss and kind of like giving the anticipation. And so that's what he's doing with her. And so she knows he's not going to plant one on her there. But the kissing on the forehead is what she claims was sexual harassment in that moment. So
good Lord.
Yeah.
This is stupid.
Oh, and if you listen to her or like look at what she's saying, we don't have to listen to, but you can look at the subtitles. She's saying like, we should be talking in this scene. It's more romantic if we're talking. Nobody thinks that. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. So she's like directing at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
He looks annoyed. He looks annoyed. When she's talking at him, his face looks
really
annoyed.
will not shut up. And he's supposed to be directing the scene, and she will not shut the fuck up.
All right, let's see. What's the next one here? Let's just keep this going awkwardly while I read the next lines. The next of the 17-point list. Let's just keep this going awkwardly because it's funny. 13, no more adding sex scenes, nudity, or climaxing beyond what she approved in the script.
Yeah, so again, she's not in charge of the movie, and also Sony asked them to. They literally asked them to sex up the movie. They wanted an R rating, and then Blake made them like put it down to PG-13.
14, no more pressure to perform nude or more explicit scenes. Well, that's like sounds like something she has a problem with Sony about.
Right. Well, also
the pressure
like,
to do it is coming from Sony, not from director, right?
She also signed on to this movie knowing that she was doing this based on a book with a lot of smut in it. and that was going to be something that appealed to the audience that they were
Oh,
targeting.
the book is smutty?
Oh,
Tug,
yeah.
you might want to re-download it. It has smut.
Oh man, yeah, that's yeah. You've heard the stuff I listen to. That's really what
I know. It's right up your alley, I'm sure.
You're like, yeah, that historical report on the Borgia Pope. Well, that's really add in the
Borgias. There was a lot of smut involved with the Borgias, weren't there? Wasn't there?
Yeah, I'm sure every time you like listen to the historical book of it, you know, you're like, oh yeah.
That's probably why you put it away. You were like, this is too smut filled. Look, what is this degeneracy? Let's see. No more pressure. We did that. Any intimate scenes must be pre-approved and closed set. Isn't that normal anyway? Intimacy.
Sorry, what was it? One more time.
No, any intimate scenes must be pre-approved and closed set. Isn't that like a normal industry?
Yeah, it is. And they had an intimacy coordinator. And I read the intimacy coordinator's deposition, and it's like literally nothing untoward happened here, but okay.
16, presence of appropriate intimacy coordination and safeguards, which you said they already had.
Right. Correct. She like did not want to meet with the intimacy coordinator when he wanted her to meet with the intimacy coordinator, but they did have one, and everything was.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Yeah,
I remember this. He tried to get her to meet with the intimacy coordinator, and she was too busy or whatever.
Yeah, right. Hey Omar, what's up?
And then there's one more. General requirement for a safe, non-hostile work environment going forward.
Well, she should probably be fired then.
Yeah. She seems to be the one doing the harassing.
Yeah.
Bruce the Moose says, a smutty book? I'm hiding in the nunnery.
You guys know Bruce wrote a book?
I heard that he did.
I have a copy. It's downstairs.
Is it smutty?
I haven't read it yet, but I'm expecting it to be. If it's not, I'm returning it.
Hey, the Tilted Lawyer is here. What's up, Omar? Good to
Omar
see
and
you.
I were supposed to stream this weekend, and then I texted him like late, and I was like, "Listen, dude, I can't." And then he voice noted me back, and he sounded miserable. I was like, "Yeah, okay, we're doing this later. It's not gonna happen." So,
Well, I feel like you've given us like exactly what I wanted. I feel like I know so much more about this now than I did. Lauren, you're amazing. You were able to catch me up in an hour and a half.
Well, this is like I feel like this is the background of everything that happened before Discovery came out. When Discovery came out, everything blew up like infinity. But that's like totally for another.
All right. Well, then maybe we should do a part 2 discuss the Discovery. Right? Should we do a part 2 like the best of the
If we try to do that
Discovery?
right now, I think everyone would die.
Not now. Yeah, well, not now. You have to be able to go back to work, I'm sure.
Actually, I took off early today, but I have stuff I got to do. So.
Oh, excellent. Well, we've got one super tip that I want to play for you. SF, thanks for the 5.
Blake Lively is about as safe as being stuck in a bear trap while also being surrounded by a pride of lions. Blake Lively is about as safe.
Stop. Sometimes it plays twice. I don't know why. But that's true. That seems true. That's the way he sounded in that. It sounded like he was surrounded by snarling animals when he was recording that voice message to her. He sounded like one false step and he was going to be torn to pieces. It, didn't sound creepy to me at all. Tug, you got anything else you want to add before we call it a day today?
No, I think I do appreciate the breakdown. Actually, I'd been wanting to catch up on what had been going on there, especially since we're getting closer to trial.
Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, I'll have to wait and see in a couple days if he pushes the date back. But if he doesn't, then it's coming up pretty soon. So.
If you're going to be there, what are you planning on doing? Are you planning on being in court all day and then streaming afterwards?
Yeah, I'll have to be. It's going to be tricky. I'll probably fundraise a little bit for somewhere to stay, and then also hopefully some of the days I can get line savers so I can sleep in a little bit. But we'll see.
Interesting.
Yeah, when I was there, so at the end of January, I was there for the hearing, and I didn't know how packed it was going to be. I'd never been to federal court, much less a celebrity court case. So I got a line saver who they charge you, like, you have to pay for at least 4 hours. They charge you a certain rate, and they go and they basically have tents they put up at the front of the line, and they camp out there until you come and swap places with them in the morning.
Wow.
And so I did that. It was a nice convenience, but it's expensive, so it's gonna be. I'll probably have to.
What do those people make an hour? This could be a good side hustle, Tug.
I want to
We've
say
got our cardboard boxes.
For the 4 hours, I can't remember how much it was, honestly. It was at least a couple $100, but luckily I had some people who helped pay for it because they were just like, "Oh, Lauren, have you heard of a line saver?" I was like, "No, but I'll take one."
Omar says, that's amazing. You can buy anything. That's true. You
Yep.
can.
That's true.
You can buy
You know,
anything.
I'd rather pay for a line saver than pay for food, to be honest. Like, it's just,
it's very taxing to stand in line for hours and hours and hours. It's worth it if you can
well,
can
also
avoid
I
it.
have to like talk to people for that long. Like, ooh.
I remember during the Johnny Depp case, like Ian Runkle and like DUI guy were sleeping on the sidewalk. Like it was miserable. Like they were literally sleeping on the sidewalk just to get in the courtroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where was that? Virginia?
Yeah. Virginia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody. Well, this has been a lot of fun. Lauren, thank you so much for being here. Chat, make sure that you go and you visit Lauren at Lethal Lauren 904 on YouTube. That is her YouTube name, The Court of Random Opinion. Make sure, mods, I hope you've dropped her link. I haven't been paying attention, but if you can drop it, so that if you are not subscribed to Lauren, you need to be, because she's going to have a front seat to this trial, and she's doing some great coverage, and we'll have to have you back again so we can do the discovery portion. Tonight on the show with Tug on Tug's channel, what do you got coming up tonight? I know some crazy stuff has been going on. What's going on tonight?
Well, we have 3 more bankruptcy filings. We actually, so in that one filing that we hadn't looked at yet, the one that talked about the $15,000, it has the original decision in it. So we've never seen the original decision, like the whole thing. So it's attached to it. So
excellent.
Yeah, I thought that would be really interesting to talk about.
All right. Well, we will do that at 8 p.m. tonight on That Umbrella Guy's channel. If you're not subscribed to him, make sure you go over there and do that as well. And thanks, Lauren. We appreciate you.
Anytime.
I appreciate you.
Sure.
See you guys.